We have a classic spring setup on the way this weekend. Hi, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us for our New Zealand weather outlook. And we have a subtropical low moving in across the country tonight. It is being stretched out right across the whole nation. Basically, we're in the middle of a low pressure sandwich. You've got high pressure out there to the left, high pressure to the right, and smack bang over New Zealand, low pressure. And that means a bit of rain, a bit of wind in some areas. And in fact, overnight tonight, we do have a windy change coming into Northland. This is it here, and it gets even stronger as you move in after darkness tonight. So basically between 6 p.m. and overnight tonight, Northland will be very windy. Auckland, you're on the outer edges of it, but you will have some stronger winds coming through tonight as well. So this is Friday's setup. You can see those windier sou'westers blowing through around the northern part of New Zealand. Now the winds aren't quite as strong the further down you go over the North Island. So the windiest weather pretty much from about Port Waikato, the Bombay Hills northwards. And then in the South Island, it is a windy day in some areas. You've got a much colder southerly change or a southeasterly coming out of the Southern Ocean. That's a temperature drop for you. And for the first time in a while, your temperatures are below average down around this corner. Although the flip side, the west coast is warmer than average as the sun comes out and you have a beautiful day coming by the looks of it on Friday. So wintry weather sort of moves back up the eastern side of New Zealand. There is a bit of a temperature drop coming for Friday, but it's not major. And by Saturday, the sun's coming back out again in a number of areas. You've still got a few early showers lingering around the east. They clear away, and in fact, as Saturday wears on, it should be a mostly sunny, dry day in many of those areas that were wintry on Friday. Now, the Auckland area, you're still a bit showery. These southwest flows take a few days to wind down. So you've got showers still going through on Saturday, but the temperatures are maybe lifting up a degree than where they were on Friday. Now we've got this big low forming out on the Tasman Sea. So let's go to Sunday, because that's when this starts to move on through. So the low is stretching right out, so it fills the whole Tasman area. That breaks up the rain clouds. It actually slows it down and makes it more complicated. We've got two features on Sunday, the big low to the north and the big high to the south. It's not a very big high, actually. The central air pressure is pretty weak, but it's got this balloon effect. And what that does is it dredges up the colder southerly flow. And that is what is coming through on Sunday along the eastern side of the South Island. So while it looks just at a glance like, oh, it's not too bad around the lower half of the South Island, maybe a couple of showers in there, it's not a very warm weather setup. That comes straight out of the Southern Ocean, curves around. So even if it is a nor'easter or an easterly, it's a cold one. And then in the North Island, warmer, more subtropical to the north. So this is a typical spring forecast where you've got low pressure, high pressure, warm winds on one end of the country, colder winds at the other, and it's all very messy. And it leads towards Monday, which is equally as messy. You've still got that low slowly coming in. It's got fairly deep air pressure. 989 hectopascals. That means it's a little more unstable. You can get a few more downpours in there, lingers a bit longer. And as you can see, it's a messy day for the North Island on Monday, but it is a warm one again with those northerly quarter winds coming down. But in the South Island, as I just said, that high that's you can just see there has a much colder airflow going around it. So the South Island will be colder than you might think on Monday in some areas, but others might have more of a warmer subtropical flow. So it depends on where you live. This is a very typical classic spring where, parts of the country are warm, other parts are cold. And another point, we've been so much warmer than average lately because of a lot of these warmer airflows. When we do get a colder one, it actually resets us back to normal in many cases. Take a look at the news feed at weatherwatch.co.nz or the news tab on our free app. We've got a story up all about that right now. It's probably worth having a read about. That is all from me. We'll see you again on Friday as we try and fine-tune the weekend forecast for you.